So what's the debt ceiling? We keep hearing about the debt ceiling. In the United States of America, which is the biggest economy in the world, which has the far biggest stock market in the world, and therefore we have to pay attention to them, they have a thing which is part of their constitution which says that the Treasury issues debt, bonds, into the Treasury market, but there is an absolute ceiling which is the aggregate outstanding amount of debt at any given moment, and that thing can't just be willy-nilly determined by the US Treasury. It has to be approved by Congress, and it's an absolute number. So this was designed by the founding fathers back in the day when they had $12.50 worth of outstanding debt. Even in the beginning days of American democracy, they had to keep raising it, but it was kind of a political thing, and it was about the balance of powers between the different legs of the government. The idea being you can't just go hog wild issuing debt, you need to be responsible and careful, and it's a good idea for Congress to approve the limit just to keep the executive in check. Sounds good. The problem, of course, is that with time, you have evolving and changing monetary circumstances. And secondly, you've got inflation. I mean, you can't just keep growing as an economy and keep expanding and have the time value of money happening in there and not change the limit. Every time the limit has needed to be changed in recent years, it's become a major political football between the two different ideological camps in the United States of America, which is the Republicans and the Democrats. The Republicans are resolutely opposed to anything that relates to tax increases. In their opinion, anything to do with tax increases is not on the table. They won't be seen to be discussing it, period, end of story. On the other hand, you've got the Democrats, who are of the view that free healthcare and social security and a whole slew of social spending issues which they have on the agenda in America are not on the table. They don't even want to talk about them because to roll them back would be against the prospect of a modern nation dealing with its poverty issues, blah, blah, blah. So you've got a major concern here, and as you know in US politics, it's always borderline. You know, the Republicans, the Democrats are both evenly pitched. So here we've got a situation where the debt ceiling, as you can see from this chart, has been rising over time. This is 1981 here. That's 2012 up there. The different colors represent the different presidents. And you can see that as it's gone, Clinton had an easy time of it because the economy was expanding so fast they didn't even really need to bother with this because tax increases kept rising. Bush, the genius that he was, cut a whole lot of taxes for rich people. So that reduced income at the same time as expanding outflows with all the wars and so on and so forth. Obama now deals with the problem of a sluggish economy where tax revenues are down and all these commitments to do with programs that have been committed to already keep rolling. So the problem is, if this thing is not agreed upon, we could have a situation where sometime in about August, there is a technical default of the US government. It will not be able to pay veteran salaries, it won't be able to pay government employee salaries, and there may even be an issue with paying income and interest payments on existing debt. And in that instance, there could be a major net negative, there could be a downgrade of US treasuries, and there could be all sorts of economic fallout. Here's the thing, I think that politicians are involved with a game of brinkmanship here. They're all looking to each other to be the one that cracks first, but that in the final analysis, the consequences of a default will be far too serious for anyone to countenance, and this thing will get itself changed. There's even a group which argue that the debt ceiling is unconstitutional and ought to be tackled in that way. Either way, I think it is a big issue, and it's going to be an issue for the month of July and a month of August, but all things being equal, I don't see this as a major obstacle, and if anything, it creates a sense of uncertainty which could be a buying opportunity for those with courage that things like this aren't really likely to hold the global economy back ad infinitum.